Alright guys, it's Kyoko here, back with another speed build. This is a speed build of a Brownstone, kind of dark academia professor's home. It's a professor with his family, so it is more of like a family home vibe. But I definitely had the inspiration, or I guess the desire to experiment and build like a Brownstone home before, which I'd never really done. Mainly because the game doesn't really have any lot or option to make like a townhouse like this, so I just had to kind of make up a street of my own for this brownstone using like the shell buildings from the debug menu. It actually turned out looking pretty okay. It looks like a brownstone, I think. At least kind of. It kind of looks like brownstone, I think. It's kind of weird to have just like these three random buildings and then like nothing else on this street, but you know, I did what I could with the limited tools of this game, so I'm actually pretty proud of how this turned out, to be honest. I've never done like this kind of build before where it's a townhouse, and I've tried in the past, I've experimented with this a little bit, but never really got the desired effect. I was successful this time though, I think, a little bit more than I usually would be. So here I am just figuring out how to do this. Just putting together the buildings, making sure they have paths to them. I hate that this lot is literally like an inch from the actual road, so I can't connect my paths to the road. There's always going to be some weird little empty lot of grass for some reason. I don't know why they couldn't just put the lot directly on the line with the road so that my paths could connect, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many little things about this game that really bug me, and I just, I don't know. I just had to deal with it. Just problem solving, I guess. So I just separated the front yards of these buildings with a hedge, so at least it made sense that maybe the paths would be disconnected because of that. So that just ended up that just was what I did. Yeah, anyways, moving on to greenscaping. I'm just trying to figure out what I want my grasses to look like. Did a pretty simple bush configuration. And then over here I'm putting in all my beams because I love beams. I thought about putting in a backyard area over here, which you'll see me playing around with later, but ended up not doing that. So it's just a standard brownstone building with like a rooftop area. This is 3 stories actually, so it's quite large, just in terms of, well, yeah, it's just a large building. I mean, like the actual floor space was, like the square footage isn't that much, but because there's so many floors, there's just like a lot of extra space. I just ended up not using it all. But here I'm just putting in some flowers up here, just thought it looked a lot nicer. Put some windows in the back here. Yeah, this build was fun to do. I had a hard time on the interiors, which you'll see later, and I'll explain why later, but here you can see me trying to figure out if I want to do a backyard thing or not. I ended up not doing this just because I had so much to do already, since there were 3 floors and a rooftop, and I was just, I don't know. I did this very late at night, so I was already kind of tired, and I was like, I don't know if I want to commit to a backyard area as well, so just kind of scrapped that and moved on to putting wallpaper on, and now we're on the inside here. So I put the staircase by the door. I really wanted a big staircase because to me that felt very academic, very strong for a professor to have, if that makes any sense at all. But here I am just putting in some rooms. So I figured this is a professor with his family. So I think this is a 3-bedroom build. So I imagined him having 2 children and I don't remember if I put multiple beds in those bedrooms, so maybe it's 3 kids, I don't remember. But it is a pretty large family. Here I am just putting in the 3rd floor staircase and trying to figure out how to get to that little rooftop area. Ended up doing it this way, where they come in through this little building upstairs. And then here I am just separating that. So the 3rd floor is kind of entirely like the parents' area, like it's split into bedrooms and stuff. But it's basically a bedroom, a really big bathroom, and then like an office, so I just figured the 3rd floor would mainly be like the parents' area, the 2nd floor would be the kids, and then the 1st floor is just like the general family area with the kitchen and living room and stuff. Here I'm putting in my floorboards. I ended up going with dark wood floors. These floors are nice. I ended up actually changing them to like even darker wood. And I usually don't do dark wood floors just because sometimes I feel like they can really darken a space, which is usually not what I want. It can be a little bit claustrophobic, a little bit too much sometimes. But in this build, I felt like it worked with like the whole dark academia thing, with the whole old brownstone kind of vibe. So you'll see later, I think it works. But here I'm just putting in wallpaper. I love this wallpaper. I wanted to do some like really old school wallpaper to make it seem like maybe this is a very old brownstone that this family took and maybe renovated a little bit. But here I am putting in the kitchen. Another reason that I changed the floors to a darker wood is because I end up using counters that have like a dark wood countertop, and honestly I just didn't like that the wood of the counters didn't match the wood of the floors in the other rooms. So that was a driving factor as well. I use these counters in different in this color, like this dark blue gray color, and then I put in this like old-fashioned fridge. And as you can see, this is all very dark wood, and it just doesn't quite match the floors in the other rooms, so I do end up changing it. Use this old-fashioned stove. I really like old-fashioned things in my builds. I don't know why. Like, I usually use like old TVs and old computers and old appliances. I just think they look so cool, you know? Like, I'm not always down for super modern technology in my build. Sometimes it just feels a little bit less designed, less interesting to me. But I don't know. I also just like old-fashioned things in this game and in real life too. I love vintage. I love collecting vintage, and so I think that passion of mine just translates into my builds a lot. Maybe I'll do like a 1960s, 1970s house one day. That'd be pretty cool. I would have to do like some period research though, because I don't think I know enough about interior design from that era, but I don't know, that'd probably be very fun for me to do since I love the 60s and 70s very, very much. Like, every day I look like I'm directly out of that era. I just bought like a really, really vintage dress that makes me look like a Girl Scout from the 70s, and it's amazing. I love it. I'll show you guys one day. It's very cute. Anyways, here I am just putting together the kitchen area. Since I did buy the laundry day pack like a few days ago, I felt very pressured to put a washer and dryer in here, so I just ended up putting it in the kitchen. I believe this is a recolor though, the green. I don't think it's like the actual laundry day washer and dryer from that pack. But here I am setting up a little laundry area in the kitchen. And I don't think most people have laundry in the kitchen. I think it's usually somewhere else. But in this build, I just kind of... I had space in the kitchen. I was like, you know what, it fits, it works, so I just ended up putting it there. Put in this big old island. It's kind of a lot. It's very blocky, very in the center, but you know, if I had like my own kitchen right now, I would love a beautiful large island because I love cooking, and I think I would just love a big island to like spread out on and like, you know, make fresh bread on. That'd be so amazing. I'm getting carried away. I'm talking a lot about myself here. I should be talking about the build. So here I am putting in plates, putting in coffee cups, little snacks to make it seem like the kitchen's, you know, being used. I believe I end up changing this snack though, because I just wasn't happy with the color of the food on that plate. It didn't match my color scheme. That's how like intense I am about color palette, is like the food doesn't match. So I end up changing it to a cupcake because the brown cupcake matched more. Like, I'm absolutely insane sometimes. Anyways, here I'm moving on to the living room. It took me a little bit to figure out what the hell I was doing with the living room. So you'll see me experiment for a second. Well, here I am first changing all the wood to a dark wood. And then here I'm just looking at couches and sofas and stuff. So I end up going with, let's see. I go with like this old-fashioned couch, you'll see in a sec. And then I actually end up changing all the colors in this room, so don't fall in love with this because that couch ends up changing a little bit. But here I am trying to find a rug. It always takes me a long time to find rugs just because I have so many and I can never settle on one. I'm very indecisive about rugs, I think, especially in this build. It was very hard for me to find a rug that I liked. Here I am just messing around with pillows for a little bit. I do leave those white pillows, but the rug and the couch color both change. I am going with this rug. And I think the couch kind of works with it. I just wasn't really feeling the green, so I do end up changing that. But here I'm putting in chairs, or at least one chair. A little poof, I think I put in. Oh, no, I do not put in a poof. Okay, no poof in this house. Putting in, here I am changing it to a blue. I thought worked a lot better. just because it was more softer, one with the walls. It was more what I was going for, I think, than the green couch. Put in a TV, candles, because candles remind me of like dark academia, old school kind of vibes. But yeah, I still wanted this build to have modern touches, just because it is not like this build doesn't take place in the 17th century. Obviously, there's like a washer and dryer, so I wanted to make sure that there were modern touches. So like this furniture is going to be like a mix of very old school classic type furniture and more modern touches. But here I'm putting in the dining table in this little area here. Ended up going with some flowers on top, and then here I'm putting in some chairs. I love this window here on the side. I've never used it before, but it just went so well with this build, so I was very happy to finally be able to use it. Thought about putting flowers in it, just the color ended up weird because of the lighting engine, so just scrap that. And here I'm putting in paintings on the wall. You guys have seen these paintings a lot. I love these paintings. I use them all the time. So one of the thoughts in my head for this build was that one of the teachers or the professor's children is like a chess prodigy, because I've been watching a lot of Queen's Gambit recently, so chess is like really on my mind. So I was like, okay, this person's child is definitely a chess champion. So there's like 2 chess boards in this house, which is a little excessive, but you know, you can never have too many chessboards, I guess, even though they all do the same thing. But here I'm just decorating the, what's this called, like the entryway to the house. I really like this door. It's from the university pack. I don't really use it that often. Putting in some paintings on the staircase so that, you know, the space is taken, it's not empty. I'm going with this portrait of a dog. I thought it was really cute. And then we're gonna move upstairs to, this is a half bath for the person who stays in this room, which I believe is like their teenager. And then here I'm just decorating that bathroom, putting in some soaps and lotions and stuff. Some stuff that, you know, people would have in their bathroom. Putting a painting on the wall, and then here I'm moving on to decorating the room. I went with this like wireframe bed, and then I used like a, I ended up going with this plaid green bed, which I thought was pretty cute. And then here I am just putting in a wardrobe on the side here. I was pretty strict in my color scheme, probably a little bit too strict. I think I needed to have a little bit more color in this build. I'm still pretty happy with it. Kind of looks like a movie set, like in a really old-fashioned movie, I think, at least to me. Here I'm putting in a rug, and I'm going with this rug, which is, it's an interesting rug choice, I think. It's kind of a modern pattern a little bit more, and I kind of like that. I liked the mix of the modern pattern and like the really old-fashioned bed and the bed frame. I thought it was very indicative of the fact that, you know, this room belongs to like a young teenager who probably has modern tastes, but still, you know, has old school tastes like the rest of their family. So here I'm putting in like an old bookshelf and a little poof on the side. I figured that the teenager is the one with like the chess prodigy skills, but I suppose it could be the children too. But for the sake of this, let's just say it's the teenager. So this is the room of the chess prodigy. I thought about putting in a TV. I just ended up scrapping it because it felt weird. I don't know. I didn't think that they would be the type to have a TV in the room, or I didn't think like the parents would be the type to put a television in their room. But I ended up putting in that little portrait instead, and then moving on to the other bathroom. I was supposed to put a half bath here just because it's like a 4x4 room. I ended up just squeezing in a sink and a shower and a toilet anyways. So this is a very cramped room. I'm not sure if it's actually usable just because, again, it's a 4x4, so I'm not sure if the pathways work for the sim characters, but yeah, it's fine. There's a bigger bathroom up here they can use if they can't use that one. Oh yeah, I'm remembering now. Okay, so there's 2 beds in this room, so I figured they would have a set of twins. That's what I remember thinking. Maybe the twins are the chess prodigies. Maybe there's like 2 of them. They're both really good and they like play each other. That'd be a really interesting story. Maybe, and there's like a competition between them, their whole lives, you know, and maybe like one becomes a doctor and the other becomes like an astronaut. That'd be a cool story. I might play that actually. But here I am just decorating the room, putting in, you know, some rugs, put that dresser on the side there, and I'm going with this rug, which I thought was pretty interesting with all the writing on it. Kind of reminded me, you know, maybe like the professor's like an English professor, like a literary a literary person, so this rug with all the writing on it kind of reminded me of that. And I was like, oh, maybe it's like a reference to Shakespeare or something. I don't know. And then over here, putting in another rug just for the general area of the room. And then I am decorating that just with some kids' toys and stuff. Because, you know, even though they're prodigies, they're still kids, you know, so they gotta have toys to play with. Put in a little teddy bear on that bed, which I thought was really cute. Ended up putting in some headphones and a thing on the floor, so that they're like reading on the floor or something with their headphones on. And then over here, I put in a, let's see, what is that called? A rack of clothes. Put in this infamous chair that I absolutely adore and just had to use in this build. Here I'm just choosing some paintings for the wall. And then over there I put in another painting. So there's like, because the painting is like a letter, so I just put like each kid's letter on the wall, so it's like their names. They all have like a special portrait of their name letters. If that makes sense. And then over here I'm decorating the big bathroom. So this is on the 3rd floor. So it's the parents' main bathroom. But like I said, if the bottom bathroom doesn't work, because it's like pathfinding, then they'll just use this bathroom too. Here I'm just putting in some decorations. I'm going with this painting, and then I put some lights on the side. I ended up going with these lights. I thought were really classic and nice. Kind of looks like a hotel bathroom a little bit. I made an L desk using these 2 custom content desks. And whenever you do this, there's going to be like a little bit of a mesh issue. And you can't really see it here because it's all sped up, but sometimes the mesh just like glitches a little bit just because you're overlaying the 2 on the same plane. But honestly, I don't personally have a problem with it. I don't mind mesh glitches sometimes. They're not usually that noticeable when you're playing the game, so I just kind of went with it. And I thought it worked pretty well, this L desk formation. I actually used it in another build later on that you guys will watch, if you want, that you guys will see on my channel. I actually use those same desks, I think. Those desks, that particular piece of custom content works great for L desks. So, you know, one of these days I should just bite the bullet and like download an actual like L-shaped desk, but I think they're kind of hard to find. I actually haven't found one at all yet. Let me know if you know any custom content creators who have made an L-shaped desk, because I love them and I always use them. Or at least I want to always use them, so let me know. This is the parents' bedroom. It's kind of cramped for a master bedroom, but I figured since they have kind of like this whole floor to themselves, maybe it doesn't really matter. And honestly, I kind of like the cramped vibe. I kind of liked that it's, you know, it's simple. They don't need a lot of stuff, you know? Again, though, I'm not sure if this bedroom works for pathfinding, if the Sims could actually get into the bed because the sides are so narrow. If that's the case, and if I'm playing this and on to just, I don't know, moving the bed around. Here I'm just decorating the hallway area, putting in another chessboard, you'll see in a second, there we go, by that window. I always like putting chess by windows because I figured you could like look out the window while you're playing chess and it could be like a contemplative moment for you. Or for the sim, I guess. And then here I'm just decorating the roof area. Honestly, I didn't go really ham on the roof. I could have. Honestly, I was getting so tired. This was very late at night. So I just put in like a table and a grill, some trash cans. I believe I put a bike up here just to indicate that maybe this is like a place where they store things sometimes. They just stuck their old bike on the roof. And yeah, that is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. This was fun to do. I've never done like a brownstone townhouse, and I'll probably do more in the future as I like perfect this technique over time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.